Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to David Bell's Tang Sudo Show. I'm Master David Bell. I'm pretty excited this evening. This is the 60th episode of the David Bell's Tang Sudo Show. Tonight, I think show 59, I talked about the transition in a free sparring situation. Tonight, I want to go into a higher level of hyung, traditional form. Now, let me just mention before we get into that, just where we are with the fighting system of Tang Sudo. It's been 11 years with the school here in Fremont now. I've been training in this style of martial arts now myself for very close to 30 years. The hyungs, or the system of Tang Sudo itself, is one of the more traditional forms of martial arts that's still practiced in our modern day. One thing that has kept us really close in unified, is the preserve of our forms, our hyungs. We practice forms that date back 400 and 500 years. It's just incredible. The system of Tang Sudo, one of the more traditional art forms. And today we bring it into our world, into our modern world. And I try to incorporate it or introduce it to the students the same as it was taught traditionally 2,000 years ago. It's considered to be the whole person concept of training. We go into meditation, try to prepare and stimulate a stronger mindset, and then through good breathing and moving, we consider that the connection to what we call the soul of a person, or the spirit. And then the body itself is just, these forms and this art will take us into just incredible positions. Tonight, the form I want to talk about and dedicate this show to is called Roha. Now, in the English language, we pronounce it Lo, L-O, Hai, H-A-I. But traditionally, it was pronounced Rohai, with a rolling R, Rohai, Rohai. So, this form has about 34 moves. The creator of the hyung is unknown, and the specific date is unknown. But we do know that it was put together, created in the southern part of China more than 100 years ago. So that's the form I want to do tonight. Now, anybody practicing, this is a master's form, and it's to be introduced to the black belts at level 3, on 3rd degree black belt. This was one of the forms that I learned and start doing the test for masters. So it's an incredible, the balance, the concentration. I'm going to spend a little while with this form, and I'm going to talk about certain movements, because you'll see a lot of things that you hadn't really seen me do in demonstrating the hyungs. So I'll try and just break it apart, talk about it a little bit. Hopefully I'll have 3 or 4 minutes at the end of this show to actually put it together and just kind of see what it's going to look like. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what's kind of held the Tang Sudo system together and close to the way the martial arts was trained traditionally. And when I say traditionally, I'm talking about in ancient times. Okay? Now, first, everything starts from attention. Then we go into what we call chumbi. This is already position. And Rohan has its own chumbi. Now, from here, I'll open. And if you notice, I'll build a little pyramid, a little looking glass in the shape of a pyramid here. And that's where my attention will be in the beginning. But now, just coming into this move, there's a lot of dynamic tension from inside, bringing all of your focus and internal power into this position right here. So, I'll see if I can do it some justice. Now, I'm going to roll into a circle, and my attention is going to stay within the pyramid. Now, we'll say on Rohan, this form really is unique, and it takes the characteristic of a crane or a stalk. Lots of balance, one leg. I think the balance, transitioning one leg to a stance, it's a lot of power there. And it's almost no way to just do it softly and really give it the credit that it deserves. I'll try to go through it one more time, even lighter. But it's harder to do, even for a demonstration or teaching. So we're trying. It's always the challenge in these hyungs, the balance. I'll try to talk a little bit more about what I'm actually doing this time. So, here. Now the stance here is a huku stance, fighting stance. Lo haran sudo maki. So from here, this is just a low block. Huku stance represents a close-in fighter. So from here, once I come, that opponent was close. And you turn here, and notice this time, instead of flipping the hands over, the hands keep the same position. So right hand will be down, covering solar plexus here. And the pseudo will come with yuk pseudo. Okay? Yuk pseudo maki. Reverse. Now, here, I'll just spin around and prepare myself for the first jump. So from here, come around. Notice the left foot stays up on the ball of the foot and the heel up. I will spring off that foot. Boom. What I'm doing at this point, I'll run out, reach out, grab the shoulders of the opponent, boom, pull him into a headbutt. Okay? Yeah. And then immediately step back. Okay? So from this point, we're going to start. Here, one leg. Open. Front stance, low block, immediately step back into huku, reverse punch. From there, and this, consider sweep. So, here. Sweep, drop, this, outside inside kick, that's double punch, from here, right to the nose filter, lower ab, back. This could also represent multiple attackers. Here. Okay. Immediately turn. Go down. Uppercut here. This 180. Hiya! Here. Huku. No Haransuromaki. Step back, and that's where it ends. In defense. Now, as Tang Soo Do practitioners, masters, black belts, we are just very fortunate to have these hyungs that have been reserved for us, or preserved for us, for so many years. Just incredible. Everything in that hyung, with the exception of the headbutt and this move, John, you notice even with the incredible one leg moves, spine's always to remain erect as possible. For instance, if we think about the energy in the body, now we're talking storage space for that energy. We want to have an approach to practice to feel that the energy is stored in the danjin. But we want it to be able to rise all throughout our fight. If the spine is erect, the energy could rise from the danjin to the head and back again and flow evenly through the body as we do our workout. Again, we want to maintain a nice even keel of breathing. For instance, we was always taught from here in the step. Inhale, exhale. Okay? So the same concept here from the time we come in to gather the energy here. There's just a tremendous amount of energy and information. Tonight, I hope I'm able to do that hyung some justice. Just incredible form. Incredible form. I just don't know where to begin with it. I want to make sure that I give you as much information of the history of the form as possible. And hopefully at the end of this segment I'll be able to demonstrate a pretty nice form on a master level. Okay? So you guys stay tuned. Thank you. And now I want to wind this one up, but I do just want you to understand kind of another way of looking at the meaning of this, what we call crane form or falcon or bird form. The form, the way I see it, the way I feel it when I'm doing it, represents kind of a lightness and a heaviness. Kind of comes into the Yang philosophy of opposites, opposing opposites working together. And this form, I think, illustrates it quite well. A very lightness and then heaviness. And it's the same, it's light and dark, or lightweight, heavy. It also represents fast and slow, or quickness. And really, if you don't understand the form, you never train the form, there's a lot of element of surprise in the form. Multiple opponents, attackers coming in from all angles in the form. So it's kind of where this form will take you. And let me just say one more time, this is not a beginner form. It is very graceful and is very enjoyable once you get to the level to do it. In the first 2 or 3 years of training, you're just not going to have the experience to enjoy this form. I throw it on my students all the time. It's kind of like in a class situation. If I have 2 or 3 year students in a class and there seems to be a little lack of interest or a little dullness, I'll say, okay, follow me through this form, just to kind of wake everybody up. It looks very graceful, but when you start changing positions and just it will wake you up to the fact that I thought maybe I had all of this, but here's some things here that I only watch. So this is like a real treat. Now I'll walk through it one more time very slowly and see can we put it all together. thing too. I'm sure that before I talked about the traditional chumbi or ready stance. From here, I just want to bury myself into the earth or become a part of the earth. At this point, when I go into this move, two guys my own height and weight would have a problem picking me straight up from this point. And that's something just the average person would not understand. But you've heard it, and it's possible and fun. Roha. And again, everybody, I'm Master Bell. If I can help, give me a call down at the school, and we're trying to start to the traditional art of Tang Soo. And now, everybody, I'm being joined by one of my students, 3, 4 year, 5 year students, Mr. Chris Pate. And this is the part of the show that's, I guess, most enjoyable. In the beginning, there's just workout, trying to get the body in shape. Then we learn drills, just drilling, blocks, punches, kicks. Then we go into the forms, which I just demonstrated, one of high-level forms. And then that will prepare us to go into a free sparring situation. So I think we end the show tonight. Okay? Sir? Make sure if anybody's watching and you have questions, if I can help, I'm Master Bell. I'll be at the school, First Tang Soo Fremont. You okay?